Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen. This is for all my SIFT people. Today we're going to work on basic helicopter control. We're at Elgin Air Force Base, runway 19, and we're just going to practice maintaining our orientation over the center line of the runway. Again, basic controls. Give me a moment. Okay, basic controls. Cyclic stick, you can see moving. You can see our anti-torque pedals moving. And our collective moving. As we raise it, the main rotor takes a bigger bite of air and brings us into a hover. So bringing it up. Nice and easy. So the first thing I recommend you do, just start practicing your hover. Alright? Just try it, you know. At first you'll kind of wiggle around a little bit and, you know, but you want to try your best. Just kind of stay in one spot. Then after a while you can play with your anti-torque pedals and kick yourself around with your feet. And let's go on into the tutorial. We'll push the cyclic stick forward, add a little bit of collective, and pushing forward. You want to maintain, have yourself like kind of directly over the center line as best you can. Try to put that center line under your butt as best you can. When you get to the end of the runway, I want you to let out a little bit of collective and then pull back on the nose. This will slow you down. Excuse me, but you got to pull back on the collective, pull back on the cyclic, and lower the collective, and that will give you that slowing distance. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out to the left a little bit here, and then I'm going to bring it right, but you want to have that forward motion going. If you can, we might as well bring it around to the left. Keep it. Not too much bank. That still is a lot of bank. So take some of that bank out, come around, and we want to get ourselves in line with the other runway, which is right there. Alright. Forward that collective, get that forward motion going, very important. And now we will run the length of this runway. Again, get that center line under your butt. So if I want to climb a little bit, I'll pull back. If I want to descend a little bit, I will push the cyclic forward. That center stick there. come right, and we're going to come around. That center line and hold on to it. Again, if you get up too high, that means you need to push forward. If you get too low, that means you need to pull back. So in some ways, that's kind of like an airplane. When we want to slow down, we pull back on the nose, pull back on the nose, lower the collective a little bit. We're going to swing out because we want to join that other runway. All right, and you know, you guys are going to crash this thing. You're going to crash it a lot. Until you get your coordination down. But once you get your coordination down, you get a feel for that collective, and how much anti-torque to put in there. It'll be nice. You'll feel the forces kind of take over, and you feel yourselves just kind of getting the hang of it and getting a feel for it. But you want positive control, and you want to get a feel for how much anti-torque. You want to always also understand there's a big main rotor up there. All right, and it is going to want to kick your nose to the right a lot, and you're going to have to counter with anti-torque pedal, with left pedal. So, for basics, this is what I recommend you guys kind of start working on, hovering and stuff, because then when you get to Fort Rucker and you get into your basic simulators and stuff like that, this thing will be essential for you. You won't have to figure it out like other guys will, because there's a learning curve to this. And if you take too long to learn it, you will wash out. So, just basic maneuvers, knowing what the controls do, and how to manipulate the controls. Super important. But I find that when you keep that forward motion going, there's some power lines down there. That's what I recommend. I'll do one more circuit, but you can pick any airport you want. Just find the runways, fly over, and maintain the center lines. And you get a little closer to the runway, pull back. You get a little bit too high, push forward. You get to the end, you want to pull back and lower the collective so you slow down. And you know, as you get more comfortable, don't be afraid to look around a little bit. Keep your head on the swivel, because you're going to have to look for traffic, you know, as you're flying this thing. But I promise you, you keep practicing, you're gonna, this thing will be a cinch for you. And see how the force is? It's kind of like the residual forces kind of just take over and keep wanting to take you in a certain direction. But you got to change, lessen those forces, and create some new forces. Don't be afraid to get low. Of course, you do something crazy, you will crash it, but, you know, better to do it on a simulator and work on your skills and practice them than to, you know, scare the hell out of your flight instructor. You know? So this is what simulators are for, to practice. Again, I tell you all, you know, I have thousands of hours of flight time in fixed-wing aircraft. I can fly a helicopter without killing myself in real life. I can get from point A to point B. So, you know, I don't have thousands of hours in rotary wing aircraft, but, you know, I understand how the aerodynamics works. Over the summer 2019, I'm going to do some more rotary wing work. That's like some deer or something running across the field. That's pretty neat how they put that in a simulation. I don't know if you guys can see that. Or their cars. One. Uh-oh. Power lines. Definitely want to avoid those. So the forces are, you know, they're trying to take over. We slow them down. And, you know, positively control this thing. Tilt there. When that force takes over, maybe want to add a little collective and get on back. So this is our last circuit. So, you know, just practice. The more you do this, the better you'll get at this. Now imagine if you just took like maybe 3 days a week, just practicing for an hour. I'm telling you, you guys would be a master at this. You'd be doing this better than me. Because, you know, anybody can go from point A to point B, you know, in a helicopter, but positively controlling this thing, you know, landing this thing on, you know, like on a postage stamp, that's where the skill comes in. Anybody can just take off, go in a straight line and stuff like that, but, you know, when you're hovering and you're getting low and you're actually trying to make a move to get somewhere, that's where your skills come in. And the only way you'll get good at that is to practice. Actually, I should have did this at Fort Rucker. And for your first time, just get close to your landing point. And then after a while, you can fine tune. And if you really don't get it where you want, you just you can ground taxi, where you have just the helicopter producing just enough lift so you can taxi this thing like an airplane. So right now, I'm just taxiing this thing like an airplane with the rudder pedals. So it even might be a little bit frustrating for you guys at first, but just take your time with it, and I promise you it will come. Nice and easy. So see, we just taxi this thing right up. Right where we want it with precision. Right there. Looking good. Okay, let's have an outside look at this beautiful bird. Actually, I'm kind of crooked. Alright, no worries. Very crooked. Okay, I see how the line went. Okay, so that's good enough for me. I don't want the video to run too long. So basically, that's how I recommend you guys get started with your helicopter flying simulators. Just start out with some basic maneuvers, really nice and easy. Get used to the aerodynamics. Once you get used to the aerodynamics of just watching the forces kind of jump in, take over, how they come in strong and then they eventually diminish when you change a certain flight situation. Basically, you're going to get a really good feel for the. But I recommend at least 3 hours a week, bro. Just at least 3 hours a week. Take 3 times a week and just play with it, just practice. And I'm telling you, your coordination will come. And I mess with this thing maybe once in a while, and I should do it more. But I'm trying to do more SIFT videos for you guys, so you guys can just get a feel for what's going on with rotary wing aviation. And the simulator is the best low-cost way to do it because, man, I don't know how much fuel we probably would have burnt in a real aircraft like this. So when you can see the diagrams, controls, and things of that nature, it's an awesome training tool. So I'm going to close there. I'm Kino with STEMwithKino.com, and I thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate your support. Bye.